All right, all right. Hello, traders. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me, and you can do some of this. Testing one, two, three. All right, Gary. Thank you. Appreciate it, Gary. Hold on here. Just it never fails. Right when I get on here, the market wants to fall out of bed on me. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Hi, Bill. Hi, Jerban. Hey, Midway One. Let me get out of this rest of this stuff if I need to. Watch this GFAI. Looks like it's trying to poke its head up and get out of here. Maybe make a break here. High Trader 77. All right, guys, welcome to the support webinar. If you're in here for support, just hit me up in that YouTube chat and we will try to help you out. Crazy market we've seen over the last 6 weeks. Let's take a look at the spies real quick. We'll talk stocks, and boy, that was some nasty action. Really hard to gauge anything. Now we're back above all of our key moving averages. We'll see what happens if we can close above these levels, but we will see what happens. Once again, guys, if you're in here and you need a question about the software, whether it's configuration, we'll talk about anything that you like. And if not, we will talk about stocks for sure. And so if you have a stock you want me to look at, just be sure to drop it in the chat there and I will try my best to make sense of it. Yeah, the nano nukes. This is something I created, and I'll be happy to. It's really not a big symbol. It's, I mean, big list. This is it. And what it is, it's nano nukes and quant computers. And today, it's the nano nukes that are doing well. Well, they were doing well. We'll see if they're pulling back now. Nope. And then yeah, just kind of stabilizing there. I actually traded that OKLO earlier, just a sympathy play because SMR was having such a good move, but I scalped it out. I got too much stuff over here to sit here and manage all these positions. But yeah, that's all them. I'll uh, lift it up just again there for you, Midway One, so you can take a look and I could obviously share the list for you, but they don't share this that well. They just all run together inside that YouTube chat. So it's probably best if you just jotted them down. Made you a symbol list. See if I do it this way and drop it and see if it works. I know it won't. Let's see. Nah, I'm not even gonna try because I know it'll be all jumbled. Lift up the AI stocks too. Yes, I sure will. This is probably going to be more in there. You know what's funny? I always thought IONQ was an AI stock, but it's not. It's a quant computing stock. And obviously one of the best, I shouldn't say best, but definitely one of the bellwethers because this one had a huge move before the rest of them even came in play. That probably is the reason is because it's probably the only one that makes money right now. You're welcome. Were you able to see them all? I'll leave it like that for a second and drop it down so I don't cover it up. This DM, you could probably eliminate that one. I don't know how that got in there. I copied the list from somewhere on YouTube, but I don't. This is not it's not an AI stock. I need to take that one out. It's ugly too. Okay, this GFAI is kind of on the move. Low float, only 8 million. I bought a little bit of this yesterday and then added to it today. Like to see more volume come in. But you don't have to have volume. AI really disappointed me today. Well, what just pathetic, lame stock. I mean, I made my money in it yesterday, but I held on to some. And of course, you guys know how I like China. I did well in some China plays this morning. I held some. I just had that feeling overnight, so I held some China stocks overnight, just like the way the markets were trading over there, and they weren't really reacting over here. So they were playing a little catch up over here. Sometimes they do that, but okay, this one is above. Really, there's no real resistance. You got the 10-period moving average at 20. You know what? I seldom trade. I will trade it occasionally, oil stocks and gold stocks. I have to have a move in that commodity, the underlying commodity to do so. But yeah, I caught a nice little trade. I sold it too early, but in SSRM the other day, I like the way it was on my list actually. It was setting up right in here. And I think I bought the pullback on this day right here. I'm out now. I sold it all yesterday, but yeah, they're very difficult to trade. I even bought some XLF the other day, and once again, I sold it. Sold it at the close yesterday. Don't know why. Just no rhyme or reason. Sometimes when I'm in these, they eat a lot of capital. You just don't get the bang for your buck like you do in some of these stocks. And if I'm in something that's eating a lot of capital, I'll just take it for a scalp and move on. Yeah, but this AI, wouldn't be surprised if it reverses and what a. But I do have my favorites. Obviously, I trade China well because I've just been trading it for so long. It was one of my sectors that I love to day trade because you get some incredible moves back in the day. But sometimes I probably shouldn't be trading them. But I like, and of course, I like the stocks in play, like the AI stocks, the quant computers, nano nukes. Yeah, Kamal, that's going to be, and I'm not so certain that's etched in stone that it's going to be 5K. Okay, we're still testing it and uh, building out the API and things like that. But uh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the final number is going to be. There will be a fee, but I'm not sure it's going to be 5K. But we'll see when that time comes. There's still a bit of testing to do and work on our end before we're comfortable in giving it to the public. So uh, yeah, it might be 2K. You know, that's right, Trader 77. You can never get married to a, and I don't. I'm good about when I buy my uh, China stuff. I'm just don't go blindly going in and buying it. It's just And typically, if it is in a downtrend, I'll let it stabilize, like it has recently, just been kind of going sideways. And if I see an advantage, uh, I will. I'll get I'll get some size. Yes, Holly's a different product. Holly is our AI, basically one. I'll pull up Holly for you. See how she's doing today. Long term, don't want that one. Not Must be not doing too good because she only has one active right now. And although that was a good one, real good one, but it's going to pull you up on any profitable ones, and then you can go and uncheck that, and you're going to see, yeah, there was some ones that weren't so good, like a short in this Zico, a long in NUK, but boy, that was, that's one where you see her stop, and as volatile as this is, that would be a really tight stop. Even though it's over a buck, no, $2, it's still, when I see that kind of volatility, that's a small size. Let it jump around. Oh yeah, the people who trade the AI the best are the ones that trade it discretionarily. Because let's admit, I mean, you don't. A lot of these they're just ideas, okay? And you can see the alert. The alert's letting you know that, hey, something's going on with the stock. They're usually going to be associated with volume, breaking out of a range, whatever it might be. It's definitely a stock of interest, but it doesn't necessarily mean you want to rush out and get the same price. A lot of the people that trade it the best will will watch it. Like this CE, you know, uh, what was that short I just looked at? No, Nuke. I mean, that's a big gap up. I would like to just, see how this is going to, play out. You had a lot of resistance over here. I'd kind of like to see it get through there. So it's a tough one. So I guess the point I'm making is you can just keep these on your screen, and a lot of times, you can see, like this TMZ. Let's say, oh, this had 2 huge days in a row. I don't want to chase it way up here, but maybe I'll watch it and let it stabilize. So and now you're getting your bounce. So it's just a way to um, keep an eye, give you some ideas that you can kind of keep an eye on throughout the day. I mean, even if you did not take this on the open and got that entry, I mean, look, you would have gotten a pullback and could have theoretically had a better entry. Okay. And if not, maybe you let it pull back, and after 30 minutes goes back through that trigger point, and then it goes. So don't feel like you have to rush in and get the same price. The alerts are in real time. You'll get them in real time, but the people who trade this the best, they look at it as a trader, and they don't, just jump in. I mean, because I guarantee you a lot of people, if they jumped in and bought it here, they would have got jigged out right there. So maybe in the early going, especially, let these things, work around a little bit. This one was just recently, I guess. So I hope that gives you an idea. I mean, there's some great calls, and a lot of times, a lot of these ones you can hold for weeks. And I've done video after video of talking about some of these stocks that you can, if they're breaking out of a range on volume, man, some of those ones go up 100, 200% because they're that type of stocks. And I'm sure that AI got me out of half my position there, but oh well. And GFAI is pulling back a little bit, putting in a. Yeah, the quant computers are not doing too good today. IONQ down for QBTS. This UMAC was on my list today because I like the way it was setting up, but uh, What's that? Yeah, Rigetti. Yeah, shorting. Back in my day trading days, I would do more shorting. I don't do as much anymore at all, just because. Well, you look at the market the last 15 years, it's like, gosh, it's almost fruitless. Now, I will put on a hedge every now and then, whether it be uh, SPXX, maybe shorting IWM, maybe shorting it via TZA, is it? Yeah, TZA. So I will do some hedging every now and then, but I don't do a whole lot of shortings. And what I do in a bear market is uh, I don't buy breakouts, okay, because they rarely work, okay, because sellers are in control of the market right now. They're looking for that opportunity for a stock to kind of break out, go to highs to sell stocks. So I do more scanning, looking for stocks that are pulling back. Uh, a good example. It didn't work today, but Shake Shack came in. This was on my list today. Came down to a nice little pivot level, and it didn't work, but it didn't go and trigger either. It just didn't. It's a no trade. But if it does go through this level today, or maybe the next day, you get a bar reversal. That's the kind of stuff I will look for more in a bear market. And then, I'm possibly looking for, and really there's always some strength out there somewhere. So, whether it's oil, whether it's uh, big tech, financials. If you noticed yesterday, the market started to, sell off on the close, and it just couldn't do anything all day. And that's kind of when I got out of my financials, and look what they did on the close. They rallied. So right now, financials, one of the leading sectors, doing very well. So I might look to play more financials, even though they're boring. This BRKB was on the list today, and I didn't take it, but just nice move. So you got to be able to be flexible, and even though I mean, we're fortunate right now to have some of these AI stocks, these nano nukes and quant computing, so providing some uh, nice, alpha, but there's going to be a time where they peter out, and you know, and and if you don't have something else, waiting in the wings, yeah, you could be forced to just, play the boring game of finding what sector is strong and playing that. And I do that. I do that quite a bit. That's why I always like to have a sector, watch list up. Golly, that pisses me off. But I had too much of that. I mean, there's nothing great about that chart, and this is why, if it was a strong chart, I wouldn't have had my uh, stop so tight. But I just feel like it's ready to make a move through this 10 period moving average, and I want to be in some so I can add to it when it does, and hopefully break this trend line. But it's a dangerous game. This GAFAI coming. It's probably Not ready for. I didn't like the volume anyway. That's why I really didn't add to my position as it went through these levels. It's like I prefer to see much better volume. Oh, you're welcome. What's your favorite trading strategy? Well, I like looking for setups, and I'm not a day trader anymore. Okay, I did that for like 16 years, but so I'm swing trading now. So I'm looking for setups, and I do that by looking at scans. So typically, I'm trying to think of one. Well, that the one I just mentioned there, that BRKB was a good one. Even though it had kind of a move going into this level, I liked it popping, closing above its 50 period moving average. It was a hot sector, and technically on the daily, it was a good setup because you had a kind of a pivot level here that it closed right at, and then you had a gap, and there was not a whole lot of resistance until you get up to 472. I'm trying to think. Vert was on the list today. I like the way Vert is setting up to break through this level and maybe go to all-time highs. I don't mind playing stocks that are kind of you know setting up for a potential move. You can see this TCOM I'm in for 64, but I like the way this one was pulled back and it broke down, but now it was putting in a charge to pop above its 10 period moving average. So you'll see me do that a lot, even though a lot of people wouldn't even touch this until it broke through, that 20 period there, and that's fine. I kind of like to anticipate, and I will. Uh, now I scalped out, of half of this today because it was running into that resistance. And now, so it's a little unconventional, but in the market that we've had recently and breakouts not working, this is what I'm talking about. I want to be kind of early, okay, because I know the sellers are out there. So I I don't want to be the one chasing, a breakout unless it's just really impressive looking. I want to be the one that may be stocking a stock that has the potential of going to that breakout area. So you'll see me do that a lot in a bear market, and then I'm selling at those area levels. Billy was a good example. It looked like crap down here, but I liked the way it was setting up because it just popped. Now I'm in it from I started buying it once it popped above the 200 and the 10. Okay, that's okay with me. Okay, I know I have my stop. It's going to be a quick stop if I'm wrong. Okay, but now this morning, boom, I'm selling. I'm selling when it got up here. Now I do have some left for a potential. I want to keep some of this China stocks in case it is a bottom, but I'm not real hopeful. No, I kind of like what I saw this morning. Obviously, they got ahead of themselves, but SoFi. Let's take a look at SoFi. Yeah, now SoFi was on my list right on this day right here, and what happened is it got away from me. In Hood was a beautiful setup coming into. Of course, you got that gap there, but that's the kind of stuff. Now you got this major gap, which is makes it tough. It makes it tough to, and you can see what happened here to trade it on that day. But then on this gap up right here was just a beautiful day. But it's hard to trust after a day like that was just awful. Okay, AI, you shook me out of half my size there. So just go ahead and go now. Gosh, hate that. Rookie. Another good example. Okay, this is a stock. Even though it's below its moving averages, I like the way it is basing down here. It has been kind of going sideways. You got a nice little 3-day level, uh, which should have probably been my stop, but like I said, I had too much. But uh, now if this, I still have some size, and if it does pop above this 10 period moving average, I can always add to it. See if this bad boy can pull back a little more. Yeah, I miss those today. Those are really hard to trust. I like it, but these are the ones. I looked at Mara in pre-market and I didn't buy it. I should have because it was at 19. But gosh, how many times have you seen Bitcoin run and these things do nothing? It's so discouraging. And then you'll have a day like over here on this day where Bitcoin was actually doing nothing and these just decided to take off. So they kind of have a mind of their own. But Cypher, yeah, there's nothing to prevent this thing from at least going to 480 level. But if it's for a day trade, that's not bad. If you definitely, I would definitely use this 557 as my stop. I really wouldn't want it to break down below. Uh, a lot of times when I'm trading these things, what I do is I say, okay, where would my stop be if I got in this? And that's where I put my bid because unless we got Bitcoin going to highs, so I don't know if it's going to pull back yet, but I see it all the time. I'll just throw an alert in here, see if it goes off. Because it seems like every time I buy these setups and these things, boom, they go stop me out. All right, AI, you got me. Let me give you a little pointer. Okay, back when I first started trading, okay, when you saw action like this, you could write this off. Hey, the stock is weak. The stock is weak. Not anymore. Okay, it's gaming. It's people trying to shake you out of the trades. I mean, even though this stock was weak for basically, let's call it what 8:30 is it? 2.5 hours. And now this thing can end up going to highs. It's just a different environment in this market. A lot of times, yeah, I will actually use those pull drive downs like that. And that's kind of what I did when I was adding more. I was adding more down here around 30, and I thought I was going to get the move right there, but no, it wanted to go shake me one more time. That's all right. I didn't get out of all of it. DJT. Yeah, that's old Steve's in DJT. He could probably tell you more about that than I could. Uh, yeah, I'm looking. That's always frustrating. I actually almost bought that, but once again, I don't like buying breakouts in this market. So luckily, I left it alone. Now it is putting down some bottoming tails in there. I would least like to see it back above its 10-period moving average. I mean, kind of right now, it's in no man's land. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. That's Yeah, I have no opinion on that one because it's middle of no man's land. I definitely like the way it's kind of stair stepping here. Okay, so it's definitely being bid. It's just, boy, when I see that, when I see it go to highs like that and a big old wick, and I get a little bit discouraged. Does it mean it can't go back? Okay, China. Let's see what you're doing here. This FINV is one to watch. I mean, this is a China stock that did not move today, and I bought it at 7, and it's one to keep an eye on because I think if it goes, it's a good chance it can go and take out if China remains strong, it can go and take out this level, which would be huge. Oh, GFAI, you're just not ready, are you? Hi, Ben. How do create an alert where it captures volume movement during pre-market or post-market? Yeah, what I like to do, Ben, and that's a great question. Uh, Obviously, relative volume does not work in pre and post market, and that's by design. Because here's the problem with using relative volume. If you use it in pre and post market, what it's going to do, it's going to skew the relative volume during live trading. So and that's obviously where you're going to get 95% of your volume anyway. So what we don't want to happen is a stock just sit there for 4 hours not doing any. And so the relative volume is going to be basically zero. And then all of a sudden the market opens up. So you're comparing it to pre-market anyway. It just messes up the true volume during live market action. So what I recommend, okay, is using, let's go ahead and pull up an alert window so we can take a look at them here so you'll see them. All right. So here's the ones I would use. You can use obviously total volume. You'd like to see if it's because if it's might be doing high, 1 minute volume, but if it's only done 700 shares, so you definitely want to use some sort of total volume filter in it. Maybe just use like 2,000, 5,000 as a minimum. And then I would use 1 minute volume because that does work. 1 minute volume percentage does work in pre-market, and 5 minute volume percentage. And you can use these as a filter. Okay, so in other words, I don't want to see. Let's do 1 minute volume and add filter. So what you'd probably want to do is I don't want to see anything unless it's doing 500%. That's basically 5 times normal 1 minute volume. Okay, that's actually going to be more effective than relative volume. Okay, so these filters, the 5 minute volume and the 1 minute volume do work. The relative volume will not. And then what I would also do is you could do uh, total volume percentage. Now this is going to be a percent. Oh, that's not right. Volume today. That's what it is. Volume today percentage. Now this is going to be and you don't want to use this as a filter. You want to use this as a column. So just put show column and that will throw it in your column area. So that way you can kind of look at it and see. So maybe if a stock is doing, uh, in pre-market doing 80% of its total volume percentage average. So that's a good number to see when you're observing these things. But use it as a column, not as a filter. I hope that happens. I hope that helps you there, Ben. Uh, Yeah, focus on the 1 minute and the 5 minute and total volume percentage as a column, and I think you'll find that those work really well. And obviously, you want to do the 1 minute volume and the 5 minute volume too as a column. So because you want to see what uh, heck, let's just build one real quick. All right, so we'll do 500 and let's do 200 and 5 minute. No, we'll just do the 5 minute as a column. Uh, Change from close. Let's say we want to see it up at least probably 2%. And we'll call this, we'll use alert pre-market. You cannot use new high. You got to use pre-market high. So we're going to add this alert and make sure, let's do a price of at least $3. Uh, all right, let's just see what we got here. We're going to probably have a lot of them, but we can see what we got. All right. All right. So this is pre-market. And let's look at history today. See, are you seeing this 1 minute and 5 minute volume in there, Ben? So this morning, 3 o'clock this morning, uh, this ISPC was coming through doing. Now this is color coded. Not sure. I guess it took something. And I'll actually share this with you as well. I may have to start using this. Oh, we got to put it on pre-market. Okay, so that was coming through, but boy, if you bought that and held on to it, you were in trouble. All right, huge pre-market. Look at this huge pre-market right here. I did. That's why you're seeing this pre-market alert right here. Yeah, you got to put a check mark in there, otherwise you will not be getting alerts right now. So this VS, you would have seen this at 305 this morning right here. Now I have a $3 minimum, so you would not have seen it until it hit the $3 level. So if you wanted to use something, well, this thing's just going to come all the way back on us, huh? Oh well. Let's keep going here. There's that ISPC. There's versus again. ZEO came through. Doing Came through at 329, ran all the way up, got a whole buck out of that one. SMX. Ooh, straight down. And you can see the volume today percentage. So these things were doing like 4,000 times their average daily volume in pre-market. So it's a good little QNTM pre-market move, but nothing really happened there. Came right back down. Nuke. Now this is one I think this nuke probably did not do on this first move because we're not seeing it till no, that's the problem. It had a stupid wick in at the open of pre-market that prevented a new high coming through. So to prevent that, you could always do a 5 minute. No, you can't. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think a 5 minute high. Yeah, I don't know. But I tell you what, I'll share this with you, Ben, and then I'll name it here. Let's call it pre-market high. High, and we will say okay. And then what I'll do is I'll share this with you, and you can always play around with it. If you want to, you can test putting a 5 minute high in there and see if that works as well. And you can run them both. You can broke, but it'll be kind of fast if you do a 5 minute high and a new high. And you could also do the same thing and take out pre-market high and put post-market high in there if you wanted to. But there you have it. And let me know. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Ben. Okay. Bitcoin's getting a little bit tired. So let's see if that cipher is, see, yeah, it's bleeding off with Bitcoin. Serve looks pretty good. Steve mentioned he bought Serve. Could I back test? Uh, you cannot back test that one because the back tester does not work in pre and post market. It only works during market hours. Yep, you cannot. And honestly, Ben, I'm going to be honest with you because trust me, I've done thousands and thousands of back tests. It's really hard to get good results on momentum trading like that, where you're looking for momentum breakouts because you get so many head fakes. Uh, Yeah, momentum is just a different game. It's really hard to make a strategy for momentum trading. No, no. But the reason is because pre and post market you can only do limit orders. So the automated trading, yeah, I don't think no, you cannot do that. They don't allow that during pre and post market. You'd have to do it during live. Oh, you're welcome, Ben. It's an interesting chart here. BTCT got as high as 750 in pre-market. Gosh, it's tempting if it wasn't Friday afternoon. Yeah, I like China. You got China and Bitcoin. Geez, 1 million in the float. But gosh, it's doing good volume. And there's really, yeah, it's going to run into some junk right here. I'll throw a pullback in case it wants to pull back again. I don't feel like chasing, but there's a lot of sweetness in that chart. Uh, yes, I can. The only problem is you're going to have to I cannot drop these sectors in there. So if you would do this, and I'll share both of them, just send me an email and to info trade-ideas.com, and I will also I'll send you the scan, and I'll also send you the list that I use for my sector list, because I could drop these symbols in there, but they would all be jumbled together. Yeah, this YouTube chat doesn't break them down like it should. So yeah, just send me an email, and I'll be happy to drop the scan and the symbol list in there for you. Oh man, my No, there shouldn't be. I mean, it shouldn't be. Are you on the dev version, Ben? I'm sorry, not the dev version, but the beta version. Mine's pretty snappy for sure. You might go to account and go to account. I'm sorry, go to help and go to about, and it'll tell you what version you're on. And let me know what you're on. Might be on 0.88. Well, yeah, if you go to help and go to about, go to help in the toolbar and see what you're on, and I'll show you what you might do to remedy it, and that is go to our download page. And I'll just drop the link in there for you, and go ahead and download beta if you don't have it. So if you look at that and you see you're on 0.88, you might want to just go ahead and download the beta, and you don't need to uninstall the old version. It'll just write right over it. So just go and download beta and see if that doesn't help. Ah, man, I should have bought that. That's. You're welcome, Ben. IWM. Let me go ahead and take my pre-market off. Yeah, definitely not performing with the spies and the Qs. Let's take a look. The Qs had a couple of bad days, so it looks kind of similar. But the IWM, well, if it does get above highs, you can see it ran right into the resistance going back to this day right here, going back to January 6th. And if it does get above that, I think that because you're where, and this is what I'm always talking about. And Barry, look left and see, where's your next level of resistance. This could have a nice run all the way to 232 and it at least to its 50 period moving average, maybe. So, uh, and you can see this is a pivot level. Look, going back over here, anytime you go back in the history and you see, you know, resistance, 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 crazy gap up, and then this came support, right? And what happened? We bounced there, and then we broke through that level, came back up, bounced, trying to get back through. So it's what we call pivot levels. Okay, they're going to come and play, and it's always good to keep an eye out for those, so you'll know. And this morning, hey, don't buy IWM because it's right in that pivot level. Let it get through there. So that's definitely where I would like to see it. Bring it down a little bit more, right around 27. So that's what I would do. Now, if you're like me, nothing's wrong with anticipating. So maybe I don't know if it'll in the day, but maybe Monday you get in here and you see it heading to that direction. Maybe I would buy half maybe, and then if it got through, I'll buy a second half. So, because if it does get through there, yeah, it could be explosive. But that is a level to be contended with for sure. Ah, the CH, useless. I should have scalped you this morning in the small size. Okay, Billy, you gonna hold that 50? Yeah, it's starting to. So I sold a lot of my China. God, that BTCT. Oh, yeah. Good. Thank you. And good observation. Imad, I'm going to butcher your name. Sure, no Texan have a hard time, but yes, it's good observation. And this is I got to get this off my board because I'm just tired of looking at it and passing on that. And you can see the Bitcoin is selling off, and now look what's happening to these things. It doesn't take much of a pullback for these things. You just get squirrely and start taking profits. Uh, yes, and lately I have not been taking a whole lot of these, only because the market we've been in. And yes, I think it's a really good idea if they're not going through on volume, if they're not like a hot sector, kind of like hood. The hood is just there's some you can trust, because they've been such, being in Bitcoin and undervalued, I think, and for a while, for a long time. And some you can trust, and some you just, like Vert today. I did not trust Vert. Hadn't got there, but it's close. But yeah, this is one I probably won't buy. The volume's just not there. Uh, So yes, it's good to keep that in the back of your mind. And obviously, you always want to keep the backdrop of your market until today. Let's face it, the market has been under pressure, uh, and it can return real quick. All we need is to sell off on the close and finish, maybe right at our 50-period moving average, and it can happen. But you can see this is not a great environment for buying, breakouts. That's why a lot of my setups are not looking for all-time highs. They're looking for stocks like LUNR. That's nowhere near its breakout high, but I did like it. If it gets through this level. But what did you observe today when my trigger went off? Okay, so this wasn't one from today, but it was one yesterday. Okay, I noticed not a lot of volume. Its relative volume is only doing about half its normal volume. Yeah, that's not the kind of trade I want to make, especially after. And there's that CIFR that I told you about. Would If I bought it would go down to. Uh, had a couple of green bars going into the number, and yeah, I just now I'll put an alert in there, and if it goes through, maybe this is now it goes sideways for a couple of days and then blasts through. That's a different setup for me. It's even sweeter. But yeah, this market's getting tired. But yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I have not been taking a lot of those lately. I took Hood the other day uh, on this day right here and had a nice 3-day move because I liked the way it was setting up. But I did not like to chase the gap up on a breakout. It was a nice gap and go, but I get busy with my positions and it's just don't like to chase the first 15 minutes. By the end, it was probably gone. So not my style. For pre-market high alerts, there's an input field of days. Does that only compare between the pre-market high numbers? No, that's going to compare. That's going to compare uh, the intraday as well. That's going to, yeah, it's going to definitely compare the live market action well. So if you put in there, pre-market 3, and you put 3 in that box, it's not going to show you an alert unless it's a 3-day high with all the trading, not just pre-market. You're welcome. All right, guys, good. Some great questions today. Some really good stuff. Got about 2 minutes left. And just real quickly, let's take a look around and see what we would like to happen here. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, Midway. If you're bullish, I think you want to just stay above this 10 period moving average. I'm sorry, the 50 period. Take a look at the Qs. I think they're probably yeah, back above all there. Same kind of scenario there. Kind of a downtrend here. I'm not sure if it technically got through that. Yeah, I guess who you'd call it, it would. And IWM, we've already discussed IWM. So that's about it. Sectors, I need KWeb. Need you to hold up a little bit because I still have a lot of China stuff over here, but I'll probably keep, like I said, I sold most of it. SMHs kind of looks like the spies. Oil service company had a nice little move. FXI, another China selling off. Now, looking at Bitcoin, I can see this, it got close to highs, some profit taken. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, people getting short right here and it's going to turn around and rip them. So it could be that some of these stocks, uh, Mara, could be potentially some buys on these weaknesses they're showing. But I don't like to trade them that much, honestly. ARC B is a good one. Okay, let me take a look. Yeah, it looks very similar to iBit. Yeah, very, very similar. iBit does a lot more short shares, volume, but yeah, they almost look identical. I don't like Bido because it pays like a dividend, I believe. Yeah, and it's kind of quirky. I mean, it'll pay a dividend, and all of a sudden the chart will adjust and get all wacky. But yeah, I prefer that iBit. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it a day. So thank you for all the great questions, and hope you had a good time in here. And we will be back at it next week. And uh, oh, okay, Midway. Thanks. It's good to know. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Imad. And all right, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Keep it tight. Bye bye.